St. Louis with Bassman Nate Kearney.
Yep.
Filling in tonight, y'all, with Layla Hathaway. You know, he the bass man for Dave Cars.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, got my boy Sean Tate sitting up here. We waiting on our hamburgers and
Man,
stuff.
we've been waiting for 30 minutes.
Hey.
I think they had to take this butter knife and kill the cow.
Hey, but Nate, like now, what about professionalism now, man? You know, you get the gigs and other folks don't. Does professionalism have anything to do with it?
It has everything to do with it, man. You know, people don't realize how important being on time is, how important learning a song is. And it seems trivial, right? It seems like, oh, you should know that. But a lot of jokers don't. A lot of cats get to the gig late, get to rehearsals late, don't know the music, you know, not playing the parts. And there are too many people, here's my philosophy. There are too many people in this world that do what I do for me to be crazy enough to not be on time, not learn the music, when all they can do is just call somebody else immediately.
Right.
That's crazy to me. A lot of people take that for granted. But I know firsthand how being a third or fourth call can turn into being a first call. You know, I've gotten calls after 3 or 4 guys couldn't make it. But when they called me, I was there, I was prepared, knew my stuff. And you know, my attitude is one that they like. And people want to be around other people that they like to hang around with. You know, no one wants to be around with a Dougie Downer. You know, nobody want to hang back that time for that. People want, you know, when life is short. So when people spend time away from their family, they want to spend time with people that's going to make it pleasurable, you know what I'm saying? Just enjoyable. So that's definitely important. Another thing is, got a lot of musicians, and if you're doing this, I'm talking to you, you'll get a gig for $100, and then you'll cancel that gig the day of the best said gig for another gig that's paying $125. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because you mess up your name for $25. You know, the word says, you know, a man's name is far more, you know, worth more than riches. You know, so we got to make sure that when people speak of us, they have good things to say. Now, it's inevitable that people are going to talk about us. It happens all the time. But what I make sure of, the stuff they say that's negative is not true. I have no control over what they say, but I do have control over if what they saying about me that's negative is true or false. That's what I got to control. So, you know, young musicians, if there's anything I can tell you, it's like, be a man of your word. If you say you're going to be at this gig, if it's paying $75, and you get another call the day of the gig, it's paying $150, say, hey, I'm sorry, thank you for calling, but I've already committed to another gig. Right. That speaks volumes, because if you keep your word to this guy, then he'll know that he can trust you with bigger and better things, you know. Or another situation, if you accept that gig for $150 or $150, and the guy that you were playing for now knows that you canceled a gig to be on his gig, he has the right to say, well, shoot, if he did that to my man to play with me, then he'd do that to me to play with somebody else.
Yeah.
So, you know, you really got to think about a lot of things, man. It's, you know, playing is the easy part. Playing is the easy part, you know, learning, you know, being respectable, being tactful, you know, being on time. All that means so much, because there's so many musicians out here that can play really, really good. Like for me, there's a lot of cats that can play circles around me, but a lot of them haven't done some of the things I've done. You know, so a lot of that comes from, you know, my level of integrity, and also I pay tithes faithfully every week that I'm home. And if you don't pay tithes, you need to start paying tithes. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to give my money to the preacher. You know, your money's not going to the preacher. Once you release that money, you're done with it. All our responsibility is to give that 10%. So I do that, and favor has been upon my life for quite some time. I mean, I've gotten gigs that I know I only got because of favor of God. Because I know the cats that were playing before me, or the cats that wanted the gig could outplay me. I'll admit, they can outplay me, and I'm fine. I'm totally cool with that, you know. But I got the gig because of favor. Favor keeps me in there, and then my discipline and integrity, you know. Well, favor gets me the gig, then my discipline and my integrity keeps the gig for me.
Dirty.
And, you know, you gotta take that into consideration, man. Pay your tithe, pay your offering, find a church. You know, if you're playing for a church now and you're not getting fed, you might need to reconsider that. I've been there. I was at a church getting pimped just for my ability. No, for real. That's literally what was happening. Getting a check, you know, getting pimped.
John laughing.
No, that's real. You know I'm real. You know I'm talking right. You know, sometimes churches will pimp us because, you know, sometimes we need that cash, and that's good, but, you know, you really need to find a church that you're getting fed at. Because if you're leaving the same way you came, just $100 richer, I mean, what is that going to do for you in the long run? You know, but I mean, trust me, I've been there. I've been pimped by churches. I've even pimped some churches. You know what I'm saying? No, for real. I mean, you know, I know my worth, so there have been some times I'm like, well, you know, I know you might have had a guy that wasn't as good as I was, so I need this right here. I don't do that now, but I did do that. I'm guilty of that. So find a church. You know, young female musician, young male musician, old female musician, old male musician, any musician, find a church, because the moment you find somewhere that you'll be fed, that'll impact your favor too. You know, so yeah, just, you know, pay your tithe, find a church that you can get fed at, and just walk with integrity. If you say you're gonna do a gig, do the gig. Don't cancel for $25 more. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, have I done it? Yeah, I did it. When I was younger, I did do it. But it got me nowhere. And I see people doing that all the time. Keep your word. Learn the music. Play your part. You got plenty of time to solo. And if you don't have time to solo, oh well, it's a song. You're not a solo artist. You know, the thing about playing a song is you're playing with other musicians. So play your part, know your role in the band. And I'm telling you, man, you will get higher. You will go a whole lot higher than you think just by playing your part, doing what you're supposed to do.
All right, y'all, this your boy Jay Ross in St. Louis, 10 million strong, hanging out with my boy Nate Kearney.
Yep.
We're going to let him bounce up out of here. Jay Ross TV, we gone. Peace.
Yeah, man.